The 100 Dresses Part 2. Full NCERT explanation, Class 10th English, the 5-minute revision. Imagine this. One day, a student suddenly disappears from school. No goodbye, no final conversation, no chance to explain. And only after that, everyone realizes they were the reason she left. What if someone smiled silently every day while hiding pain inside? What if the jokes that seemed harmless actually broke someone's heart? And what if you understand your mistake only after it was too late? This is the emotional heart of the 100 Dresses Part 2. Not just a story about dresses anymore. Now it becomes a story about guilt, kindness, forgiveness, and growing up emotionally. If your exams are near and you haven't revised this chapter properly, don't worry because in this video you'll understand the chapter deeply. Remember all important points easily and prepare for your exams in the smartest way possible. Welcome back to the 5-minute revision, your fastest and easiest way to complete the entire class 10th English syllabus. This playlist contains complete NCERT explanations for all first flight chapters. So before we begin, please subscribe to the channel because every video here is specially designed to help you score maximum marks with minimum stress. And yes, free PDF notes with all important questions answers are available in the description PDF. So definitely download them after watching this video. Now let's begin the emotional continuation of Vanda's story. The 100 Dresses Part 2. Before understanding Part 2, let's quickly remember what happened earlier. Vanda was a quiet girl. She came from a poor family. She lived in Bogans Heights, far from school. Every day she wore the same faded blue dress, and because she looked different, the girls in school teased her, especially Peggy. Every day they asked, "How many dresses do you have?" And every single time, Vanda calmly replied, 100 dresses. The girls laughed. They thought she was lying. But then came the drawing competition, and suddenly everything changed. Vanda submitted 100 beautiful dress designs, each dress different, each dress artistic, each dress stunning, and Vanda won the competition. The same students who laughed at her stood shocked and silent. But there was one problem: Vanda wasn't there. She had stopped coming to school. And now part 2 begins from the emotional moment. The chapter opens inside room 13. The students are busy in class. Suddenly, the monitor from the principal's office enters with a note for Miss Mason. Miss Mason reads the note carefully again and again. The class immediately senses something serious. The atmosphere changes. The room becomes silent. Then Miss says, "I have a letter from Vanda's father." Now everybody listens carefully, and Miss slowly reads the letter aloud. Vanda's father writes that Vanda and her brother will not come to school anymore. Their family is moving to the city. Why? Because in the city, nobody will make fun of their strange Polish name. Nobody will call them Polak. Nobody will insult them for being different. This is very important moment in the chapter. Until now, many students thought the teasing was harmless, but now they understand something painful. Their words had deeply hurt Vanda and her family. Vanda never shouted, never complained, never fought back. She suffered silently, and finally the pain became too much, so the family decided to leave. This scene teaches one of the biggest lessons of the chapter. Small insults can leave the deep emotional pain. After reading the letter, Miss speaks softly to the class, and her words are extremely important for exams. She says she does not believe the students intentionally wanted to hurt Vanda. Instead, she believes the teasing happened because of thoughtlessness. This word is very important. Thoughtlessness means hurting someone without realizing the seriousness of your actions. Miss wants the students to think deeply about what happened, not just feel bad for a moment, but truly understand their mistake. This is why her speech is calm, not angry. She is disappointed and emotionally because she knows a sensitive child has already suffered. Now, the chapter focuses deeply on Maddie, and honestly, Maddie becomes the emotional center of the story. Why? Because she represents something very real, the fear of speaking against wrong things. Maddie had never directly teased Wanda, but she also never stopped Peggy. She always remained silent, and now that silence begins to hurt her badly. She feels sick inside. She cannot focus on her studies. She keeps thinking, I stood by silently, and that was just as bad. This realization is extremely important. Maddie understands that silence can also become cruelty. And there is another reason why Maddie feels Vanda's pain so deeply. Maddie herself is poor. She wears hand me down clothes. She knows what it feels like to be judged. She realizes that she and Wanda were actually very similar. The only difference was Peggy liked Maddie. This thought scares Maddie because she understands something frightening. If Peggy ever turned against her, she could become the next Wanda. That fear had stopped her from speaking earlier, and now that fear turns into guilt. This is one of the best character development moments in the chapter because now Maddie changes emotionally. For the first time, she decides she must do something. She wants to find Wanda. She wants to make things right. After school, Peggy suddenly says, let's go and see if Wanda has left town. This surprises Maddie because now even Peggy seems affected. The two girls begin walking toward Bogin's Heights and notice how the author describes the atmosphere. The weather is cold, wet, the streets feel lonely and uncomfortable. This gloomy atmosphere reflects the emotions inside Maddie and Peggy. This technique is called mood reflection. Very important literally point. As they walk, Peggy tries to defend herself. She says, I never called her names. I never thought she knew we were making fun of her. Maybe was even helped her get ideas for the drawings. These are excuses. Why? Because Peggy is trying to reduce her guilt. She does not want to believe she hurt Wanda badly. But Maddie remains silent because deep inside she knows the truth. They reach Wanda's house, a small white house, old, simple but clean, and immediately Maddie thinks of Wanda's blue dress, poor but dignified. This comparison is symbolic. The house represents Wanda herself. They knock on the door, no answer. They go to the back, still no answer. They are gone, and suddenly the guilt becomes heavier because now there may never be another chance to say sorry. That night, Maddie cannot sleep. She keeps thinking about Wanda, about the dresses, about the lonely girl standing quietly while everyone laughed. And then Maddie reaches the most important conclusion of her life. She will never stay silent again. If she ever sees someone being teased, she will speak up, even if it costs her Peggy friendship. This moment is extremely important for exams because this is where Maddie truly grows as a person. She learns the courage is not only about fighting. Sometimes courage means speaking when everyone else is silent. This lesson is the moral heart of the chapter. Later, Peggy and Maddie decide to write a letter to Wanda. They congratulate her for winning the contest. They talk about her drawings. They ask about her new school. But interestingly, they still cannot directly say we are sorry. Why? Because guilt sometimes makes apologies difficult. Still, the letter shows they genuinely regret their behavior. Days pass, then weeks pass. No reply comes. Peggy slowly forgets the matter, but Maddie does not. Every night, she imagines protecting Wanda from teasing. Her guilt continues growing. Then one day, around Christmas, Miss Mason receives another letter. This time it is from Vanda herself. And this letter becomes the emotional climax of the story. Vanda writes kindly to the class. She says they can keep the 100 dresses because now in her new home she has 100 new ones. Then comes the most touching moment. She says Peggy should keep the green dress drawing, Maddie should keep the blue dress drawing. Now think carefully. Even after everything, Vanda chooses kindness. She forgives the people who hurt her. She does not insult them. She does not seek revenge. Instead, she responds with maturity, and this shows Vanda's emotional strength. And then Maddie notices something shocking. The face in the drawing looks exactly like her. Peggy notices the same thing in her own drawing. This means Vanda had carefully observed both girls. She understood them deeply, and despite everything, she still cared for them. This realization breaks Maddie emotionally because now she understands Vanda was far kinder than anyone else in the classroom. Now, these are the most important questions for exams. Complete answers for all the questions are available in the free PDF notes in the description. So, definitely download them. So, what does the 100 Dresses Part 2 teach us? Be kind before it's too late. Never judge people by appearance. And never stay silent when someone is being hurt. Because sometimes the quietest people carry the deepest pain. If this video helped you revise faster, please like, share and subscribe to the 5-minute revision. And don't forget to download your free exam ready PDF notes from the description. Next chapter coming very soon. Until then, keep learning, keep revising and keep believing in yourself.